So how to get into motorsports, basically I forced myself into it. I hung out with a lot of like core Subaru guys at the point. Like we all bought the original WRXs when they first came here.
That it had to earn. Meet the turbocharged rally-bred Subaru WRX. That's the beauty of Subaru.
Tim Bailey and Jeff Spunago, Jeff Perrin, who owns Perrin.
I know Perrin, yeah.
So Perrin. So these are guys that we all met in a little garage. Like I remember Jeff Perrin bringing in his first up pipe. Like it was this hacked up MIG welded thing. I was like, what's that? And he was like, this is going to make power. That group of guys, we literally created the recipe for a fast Subaru. Back in the day, Subaru had this team called ESX. So it was a Subaru sponsored car. So they ran a four-cylinder, Subaru four-cylinder, but they made it to a turbo 400.
Sure. Really?
Yeah, so he ran like high nines, low nines. Well, I was running low nines with a stock transmission, factory. So that's what kind of got me known. People were like, well, what's going on here? Like Subaru over here is going nines, but then there's this kid in Portland working out of his garage going nines, right? Figuring out the recipe on his own. Pushing in a clutch, shifting gears. And I didn't even flat foot shift. Like
we did a little research. We found the articles that were written in like 2011 about your Subaru when you're still running nines. Did you ever make it to eights?
All of them. So I made it to eights and then tore the car apart.
Oh, really?
So So for me, so I had a really consistent street car with full glass, roll up windows, and that was a 950 car. Solid, like on a good solid pass, 9.5s all day long. Like if I missed shift, I'd run a 990. That's how solid the car was, right? Wow. To get it to that 8-second mark, I had to lighten the car up. So I almost had to kill the car to go that fast, which was unfortunate. So I had to like take all the glass out, lighten it up. So the reason why I quit, and a lot of people don't know this, my last pass at 161, I pulled the parachute and the whole back of the car lifted up. And so I was driving like this at 161 miles an hour and it was not fun. And I have a wife and kid. And it just wasn't worth it at that point. So it was no longer fun at that point. Back then it was all about like bragging, right? And I'm not about that. So like for me it was more like, okay, I did what I think, I'm out of here, right? So I ran my eights, got my pass, I got my slips at home, I still have them. It was more about getting it done and then satisfying myself. It was more about proving to me it was about me and not about everybody else.
How did you get into this? How did you get into cars or mechanical, working on machines?
So I've always loved cars as a kid. I was a kid that was always like, hey, there's a Ford Escort, there's a Lamborghini. I could just pick them out. I saw a guy at an arcade that had a really nice Jeep and he was a young guy. And just started talking with him, and he was a plumber, so he was an apprentice plumber at the time. And I saw he had this like brand new Jeep, and we went to his house that he just bought. And I was like, dude, hook me up. Put me through 4 years of school, got my license, so I was a journeyman plumber. I did that for 20 years.
Awesome.
And so that's where I was able to get the money to afford to modify cars. And that transferred into getting jobs in like Grand Am and NASCAR, IndyCar.
And were you just only working with Ryan Tuerck? Were you working with other Formula Drift guys, that like Papadakis team?
Yeah, instances with the Papadakis. I have a good friend of mine that works on Ryan's team who's now Papadakis, right? Yeah. But for me, like I remember meeting Papadakis because remember I'm a drag racer. Yeah. And Stefan Papadakis is a drag racer when it comes down to it. Like he's the core drag racer. So for me, when I first met him, like it was literally the urinal. Like I pull up to the urinal, it's like Stefan Papadakis is right there, and I'm like, yo, just to let you know, man, like I got much love for you. Like you are like not my hero, but like you are like the guy, and he showed much love for that. And it was weird at the urinal, right? But we were literally at the Formula Drift the awards benefit, like at the end of the year. And like he just happened to be there. I happened to pull up, and I was like, "Yo, you were like the guy for me when you were like younger." So.
I feel like we need to make an animated short out of that. It's just you guys talking.
It was cool. It was cool. Yeah. No, but Steph's a great guy. I think most people that are passionate about things sense the passion from other people, and then they're willing to share at that point. Just like with you guys, right? Like right away, I could sense that you guys are very passionate, and that's why I'm willing to share.
Definitely.
So and that's another thing is like there's another reason why I left. Is like, what am I doing for the future for myself? Yeah, I'm having great time working on race cars. I get to be like I was hanging out with Mad Mike Woodek, Dago Sato, like yeah. So like you guys like yo,
all of the guys in drifting.
I had a conversation with Dago Sato in his Infiniti G35, like, the car convertible one. So Max Dorito and Tarzan. Tarzan's a famous Japanese driver as well. They came to our pits to check out the FRS right after Ryan went out and did a little drift. And we were just now doing like The FRS just had come out. Like, it was just a fresh car out. And so they're checking out the car because they're like wondering, hey, like, should we build one of these? And our car ended up, we had like, at that point, we were the first one with Wise Fab. So we had Wise Fab on it, like all the good stuff, 2JZ with the anti-lag, making all that noise. So they ended up in our pits. And they were looking over the car, and I'm just like sitting in the background like, yo, it's Max Rito, Tarzan, like my heroes, right, are in our pit bay. And they're looking over the car and they're checking it out real close and looking at everything and looking at it. And then they looked at me and they're pointing at me and they're like, you build? And I'm like, yeah, I gave them a thumbs up. And they both looked at me and they bowed.
Oh. So good.
Because at that point, I just saw these guys in magazines, right? Modified magazines, import tuners. When I was a younger guy looking up, opening them, these guys were driving cars in Japan or in Time Attack, Australia, or and then to have them in front of my face and then the bow to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh my God.
Oh, it was over. I could die that day.
Yeah, social media I think has really changed like the landscape of the way that people interact with cars and just like the community as a whole is very different.
So here's my aspect of it. Cars are now cool. Like you were considered like kind of a geek and like an awkward person, but now with social media, you're cool when you own a cool car, right? Building your car and like driving your car, that's cool. Learning what your car is, that's cool. Not just driving it up and flexing and showing a picture. Yeah. That's not what the car scene's about. You might not have the most money. You can still go out and show your style.
It's very much about style.
Right, it's supposed to be, but it's not anymore. Now it's become about like how much power you make, how much smoke can you put out,
well, it's
how
also
expensive the build is.
Like when you look at like old Japanese drifting, like all of their cars are fucking mint. Like they're sliding it, but they all look good. Like the style is so important about it. And I understand
is important.
I understand having like a drift pig and just like it's the clapped out pellet
missile,
tip, but that's like all anybody does nowadays. Like nobody drifts nice cars anymore. You do like your cars pretty subtle. Like you like tasteful accents to them, but it seems like you like generally the style of it still being just single body color.
So my whole theme is right on the edge of race car. The single roll bar, because that's old Japanese style, because that's what you see in an old Japanese car, was just a single roll bar, and then just the top half of the dash. So just enough street car to understand where the car came from, but then the rest is race car. One of our opportunities to swap into old chassis is now gone, right? Because it was about
Same with SRs.
It's about being like a budget build, right? With the beams popping up in that price and SRs popping up that price, I went and wanted to create something that we could all create and like make the next swap. And yes, mine's crazy because I have ITBs and all. Not everybody has to go this crazy, right? But you could get a junkyard K24, buy the adapter plate, and go get a junkyard BRZ, and for about $1,300, have your core components of a cool swap. So that was the whole reason why I built this in the first place, was to create something for the community that wasn't there yet.
You haven't lost the soul of a Corolla. If you put an LS in this or a JZ in this or some boat anchor in the front, it would lose it.
It's still rap music.
It's
still the same genre. Yes, it's still the same genre. It might be Lil Pump versus Dr. Dre, but it's still rap music, right?
You left this naturally aspirated. You did ITBs, you didn't do a turbo, which would have set it just a little bit further away from that AE86 formula that made the car so special to begin with.
Right, so this is my simple build.
Okay.
So that's why I kept it. It was supposed to be simple at first, and I kind of got out of hand, right? A NASCAR muffler, so that's a muffler off of NASCAR. Flat tube NASCAR here. Celica Supra rear diff, rear diff locking, LSD. T3 coilovers custom made for the weight and the balance of the car. Got my big fuel lines, radium fuel cell with the bulkhead fittings, so those will go there. Fuel cell containment center, like I had a kid welded up last year, so some of these welds don't look as nice, but those are from a kid. But I trusted the kid, and then he actually created something.
Yeah,
so
might
like,
not be the best, but
right, but it's in there, right? And so like, I like to provide that for kids too. Like, hey, yo, I trust you enough to like weld on my own personal
fab stuff specifically, that's what I needed, was that push too, because I really wanted to fab and weld things up.
Right.
But I just needed somebody to like trust me to do it. Because
and fabbing is all about messing up. Like fabbing, you're gonna frick things up. It's It's about like putting your work in. It's like anything else. You got to put your time in to learn. It's like if you want to become a good driver, you got to have a lot of seat time.
If you had to summate like just the experience of being here, working on cars, like teaching the next generation, like what do you think you'd break down like what is the most important lesson that you want people to take away from the work that you do?
I think a lot of the times, especially as young people in this country, we get told what we need to be. So we don't have an opportunity to find out who we actually are. For me, I didn't get to find out who I actually was until like my late 20s, right? And it'd have been nicer to know that in my early 20s because I could have got to the things I wanted sooner. Nothing's gonna be just smooth for you. It's not gonna just work out for you, but if you could find comfort in your discomfort, nothing's ever gonna be uncomfortable for you. Does that make sense? Like it's life. Life is uncomfortable. Like paying my bills is uncomfortable. Paying my mortgage is uncomfortable, right? But I have to do it. I have to go to work to do it. So like for me, the car is the bait. I use the car to hook the kid so I can turn them into like a solid individual. So they'll get it, but a lot of kids too, they don't get it. They're like, why do you care about me? Like, right? It's like, exactly. So that's the hard thing too, is to be like, hey, this is why I care. This is why I'm on you so much, is because I care, because you're on the wrong track right now, right? All that hard work you got to get yourself in that seat of that car at that moment, that's the process part, right? You worked on that process, you got through all those hard things, and now you're in that perfect moment where you're sweeping through those corners and everything just feels right, or you're hanging adrift and it's just set in and your foot's fully down, the car's gripping up and you're just like, oh, right? You're like in the moment, right? Where everything's just perfect. Prepping yourself for those moments so you're ready for them. Is that good?
Well, thank you, Matt. I think that this is one of the best interviews that I've ever done, at least.
No problem. No, that's fun. It's fun, and hopefully it's usable stuff.
Oh yeah, it is absolutely usable. Right. We've had some that it was obvious that it was not usable. This is usable. I need to pay him now. I need to give him money.
Oh yeah, for the motor, right? You came here for a motor. You got an interview out of me too.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, all right.
Distracted him long enough.
Right. Oh, yeah.